What is going on, Serpa Squad? Tanner here. We're not going to do a project this week, but instead we'll do a quick update on the ponds outside. I'll show you how all the fish are doing. We'll also stock the new mini pond, the indoor pond that is, with the rice fish. We're also going to put my new Gargoyle gecko in her bioactive vivarium, and I'll show you a few miscellaneous stuff, so why don't we go ahead and take a look. On the far end of the room here is the main thing that I want to show you, but I will update you on this real quick. I took the 90 gallon out of here, and then Dean's 125 is up next. Now, a quick question about that. I'm either going to rebuild him a tank from scratch, so another DIY tank of some sort, or I could even just buy another 125 and build that one up. I don't want to use this one anymore because the panes are all scratched up, they're scraped, and I can't get a nice aesthetic in there, so I'm curious what you guys would like to see. Part of me would want to just buy the new tank. It'd probably be cheaper than going DIY, but the DIY tank would be more functional, so everything's up in the air. And then, of course, like I said, we're bringing a bigger aquarium in here. That's to replace the 150 cube here. That will free up that tank to do with whatever we want with it, so we'll talk more about that in a future video. But as I said, work our way over in here. Of course, we've got the Gargoyle gecko vivarium here. It's doing really well. Everything's coming together, and she definitely seems to like it. Of course, she's nocturnal, so she's not really that active during the day. And it seems like she's found her spot, which is up here in the left corner. I'm not sure if that's where she'll stay long term, but they find spots that they like, and that's where they'll kind of stay at most of the time. So we'll see. She definitely makes use of all of the wood in here, all of the cork bark. I've seen her crawling around. I think she's still getting used to the food being over here, because in her previous tank it was down here sort of near the bottom. So just still definitely getting acclimated to everything, because I only put her in here a few days ago. But I'll tell you what, it's a huge upgrade from what she was coming from, and I'm just really excited to finally get her in here and just showcase her how she's meant to be seen. And man, is she a beautiful animal. Here, I'll put up some pictures here of how good she was looking the other day. Of course, we also have the mini indoor pond, which is doing great. Before we look at that, I'll show you about the lighting real quick. What I have is a 4500 lumen, 6000 Kelvin, 45 watt shop light here. It folds so you can direct the light in different ways, and I just have it hooked up to a pendant light, which goes up and around and down here to a timer, so that's pretty cool. As I said, the pond is doing really well, but why don't we go ahead and add the fish? I've had the fish in here for a few days now, and they seem to really be enjoying it. They're quite active, they're always swimming about, and they just look great in there. There was really no acclimation whatsoever when they went in here. They plopped in and they were swimming around like nothing had even happened, so I love to see that. Although I will say that there's a slight current here where the waterfall comes out, and I think that initially they didn't really know how to swim with it, but as you can see, they're swimming around it quite fine. I mean, they get pushed around slightly, but it's probably good for them long term to build up some strength. I know typically they like calmer waters, but besides the area near the waterfall, it is really calm and they have no issues swimming around, so if anything, I think it would be good for them. I also think the setup is looking really great. The majority of the plants took extremely well, except for the Alternanthera ficoidea. I think that long term will probably grow back, but initially it kind of took a beating. Although I will say that I bought that plant on clearance and it wasn't doing so hot whenever I initially bought it, so perhaps it's just coming back from that. Like I said though, all of the plants are looking really nice. They got some very good upright growth to them, and they're reaching towards the light, which is kind of what I want. I want to get some nice height to everything and really just get that riparian accent to the pond. But overall though, I'm really enjoying this setup. I love to see the fish swimming around. It's just a fun one to watch. I think it's going to be great and only get better as it progresses, as we get more and more of that riparian growth. I might add some other plants long term, but for the most part I think it looks really good. It's honestly one of my favorite projects at the time. Now that we took a look at that, let's go outside and take a quick look at the ponds. And we have the 5-month update on the DIY pond out back. As you can see, it's still doing really well. Water clarity is on point. I've had absolutely no issues with that throughout the duration of this build thus far. All the terrestrial plants around the outside have established quite well to the point that I have let them go. It's about time to trim them down for the winter, and then they'll come back twice as strong next year. But as you can see, doing really well in that department. A lot of the tropical plants that were in the water feature here itself, had to get rid of those. So all the hyacinth, they died back. The water lilies, they're getting ready to go into dormancy for the winter. Then I got this papyrus and a few other tropicals that I'm gonna have to bring in for some builds that I'm working on inside, some larger things, and we'll talk about that later on. But all in all, it's doing really well. The goldfish are still enjoying it. They've grown up quite a lot this summer. And some cool things have even happened. If you check it, that fish right there, that's the one that I found in the pond out front, the little baby that made its way from this pond up there on some of the plants. And that's kind of what I wanted to show you in this one, is that there are several babies in here. We have some shubunkin, also have that one, of course, and then I think some of the sarasa as well. So I'm gonna get in here and try to catch some just to show you, but they've grown up quite a bit even just in a few months. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch them, and I broke their trust by going around in there with the net, but I want to show you what's going on in the front pond now. And then of course we have the aquascape ecosystem pond, which is looking as beautiful as ever. For some reason the hyacinth out here, they're still going strong, so I'll just leave them there for as long as I can. Maybe I'll try to bring some inside and work with them, but I doubt I'll be able to get them to work inside. Again, just still looking good. I don't know where our frog friend is right now. We have a frog that he came as soon as the pond was first set up, and he's been here all summer, and he's a good 3 inches long at least right now, and he was probably about 3/4 of an inch whenever this whole thing got built. So I'm pretty excited about that because frogs are my favorite. But what I wanted to show you is the fish. So we got the sunfish and the catfish in here. The catfish are in there, they're back in here. They don't really come out that much, usually just at night, so we're not going to see them most likely. I don't know where the sunfish are right now, but if you recall, I have a pumpkin seed sunfish and a green sunfish. They're not the same, but they can breed together, and although they're still pretty small, surprisingly to me, they bred, and there's actually hundreds, or there were at one point hundreds of little babies in here. I'll try to catch some up and see what they look like, because I haven't got to examine them. I've just seen them swimming around, and this has been going on for several months, so it's not like they're going to get eaten at this point, because I think they're probably about an inch long. So let's see if we can't get in there and catch something. So I was able to get one. I'm going to fill this jar up with water. I'll get him in there so we can get a better look. Caught a few more. Here's just a few that I was able to catch, but trust me, there are way more in there. I'm not sure how many, but it does look like a good bit. Maybe a couple hundred, something like that. But these guys, they're spunky, they're tiny, they're cute. And I know that some of you are probably going to want me to keep these and raise them up and then put them back in the pond to make sure that they live. But honestly, I sort of hope that some of them aren't being predated on, because that pond can't sustain hundreds of fish, and I would have to find something to do with these. So hopefully these guys make it, because they're cute. cute. We had a little moment with them, but how cool is that? I can't believe that those two fish, they bred already, and I was just very surprised by it. So I think it's really cool. I'm also really curious what these guys are going to look like when they're adults. Are they going to look just like a green sunfish or like a pumpkin seed? Or are they going to have traits to both of them? I'm really not sure. Looking at them now, and kind of what I suspect is that they're going to look like the green sunfish more than anything. They might have some of the colorations of the pumpkin seed, but I really think that they're just going to look like a green sunfish, but I guess time will tell. Naturally, I had a moment with these guys, and I for a second wanted to keep them inside, but let them go back home where they belong. And that's going to do it for this one, Serpa Squad. I really hope you enjoyed seeing updates on everything that I showed. If you did, be sure to give me some love with a thumbs up. It really helps me out. It's the best way to support me. I'm not asking for your money on Patreon or anything like that. I'm just asking for a few seconds. Scroll on down there, give it a thumbs up, maybe a comment if you want to do that sort of thing. And subscribe, of course, if you're not already subscribed and you want to see projects like this, future stuff, all that sort of thing. And I guess I should also mention about the Venus flytrap terrarium, because I keep getting questions about it. I put it back in the garage for dormancy. We'll pull it back out in a few months, and there's a few fly traps on there as well, but I'm probably going to take it out of there. That's a topic for a different time, though. I'm getting off on a tangent. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the next one, Serpa Squad. Take care, and she looked like she was going to jump. Peace!